interesting discussion we're going to have with our panel. We're joined by special guest Renee Schmitz here with us in studio, and she is the editor of SheBites.com. Fantastic website you should check out. And there you go. Take a look at it right there. And today's topic is whether or not the U.S. is seeking to block AT&T takeover of T-Mobile. What kind of impact could this have if, in fact, it goes through? What would happen if it was blocked, the impact to the consumer? So let's lay out the case for us a little bit. Department of Justice involved. They don't want to see this happen or go through. Tell us why.
Yeah, they don't want to see this deal happen. They're worried about higher prices for the consumer. They're worried that there's going to be less competition in the market, that the quality is going to go down. But at the end of the day, you have to ask ourselves, AT&T controls like 32% of the market right now. If we're going to 43% and we're going from 4 carriers to 3, is it really going to make a big difference? And that's, it's up for debate.
Yeah. Now, tell us about kind of the different sides, like what the positions they're taking, what their strongest points are.
Well, they're looking at it from the perspective of obviously protecting the consumer on the one hand, but on the flip side, you have to look at the value add that you would have for, let's say, the T-Mobile customer who right now can't get their hands on some of the most sought after devices like the iPhone, which is not available on that network. So there's also a benefit to seeing this deal go through. Among many other benefits, for example, AT&T is looking to add 5,000 jobs by bringing in some of the wireless call centers. And in our economy, it would be a huge benefit to have another 5,000 jobs. Exactly.
We're for jobs. So if the DOJ is accurate, they're saying consumers would be facing higher prices. They're saying if the merger goes through, consumers would have higher prices, poor quality services, fewer choices, fewer innovative products. What evidence do they have to support those claims?
Again, this is just up for debate at this point because you're going from 32% to 43% of the market. Right now, T-Mobile, they're serving the lower end of the market, but so does Sprint. So you'll still have a company that'll sort of be the bottom feeder, so to speak, here. And AT&T and Verizon are really leading the market, and does it really make such a big difference if you go from 30% to 40%?
Okay. So basically, and also T-Mobile has an obligation for their shareholders.
Of course.
Right, because they haven't had very good profits at all as of recent.
Kimberly, that's a great point. For the past 4 out of 5 years, T-Mobile has been reporting losses. And, there is an obligation to satiate shareholders. And I think that's what the parent company, Deutsche Telekom, is trying to do here. And so, by not letting this deal happen, it really just doesn't make sense because it's not clear if T-Mobile can be a standalone company in the future anyway.
So this is rumored to be, I guess, like $39 billion merger. It's quite substantial, which is why the Department of Justice is getting involved. But they're kind of, alleging that this is an antitrust violation. Or is it just the free market and capitalism and mergers like this, make sense?
I feel mergers like this make sense, but it really depends on who you ask.
Sure.
But I think AT&T and T-Mobile are just going to litigate this. Estimates are coming in that maybe a lawsuit like this would cost $10 million, but when you're looking at a $39 billion transaction, is that really that much money? And also, if this deal doesn't go through, there's a pretty significant fee that AT&T would have to pay to T-Mobile in the realm of over $6 billion, and that's also a considerable amount of money. So a $10 million lawsuit, might make sense in a case like this.